Hey guys, it's Wavejump here, and welcome back to another video. Today we are back for another command block tutorial, and as you may have already noticed, we are not in our normal world, so I'm going to go ahead and explain what is going on, and then we will hop right into the video. Alright, so last episode was episode 6, we went over randomization and a couple of other things, and one request I got for episode 7 was to go over how to actually use what you've learned to create a command block contraption. Now I thought, this is an idea I had for a while, is I wanted to dissect one of my older command block contraptions and show you guys how everything worked so that you can recreate this and then kind of branch off of that and create whatever you want off of that. So I just want to show you just how much you can create from just that. So this was when I had a lot less knowledge about command blocking, and I made what's called the mind control vanilla mod. It doesn't really have to do with mind control, but essentially what it is it is a vanilla mod which, oops, let me reset that. Which is essentially about having mobs being teleported to you depending on what your score is. So the idea is it's used a lot for trolling, and I'll kind of show you what I mean in just a minute here. You could, by the way, find my older video, but it is really cringy and the microphone's terrible, so I wouldn't recommend it. But anyways, here. So, the basic premise of this is that depending on which score you have, it'll have a different thing constantly teleport to you. This is what I call Radius Edition, so this specific version of it, and I might port over a non-Radius Edition, but this version of it means that it'll only work if you are close to that specific mob. So if I wanted to teleport all pigs to me in the world, that would not work with this specific contraption. I would have to find my older one and then port that one over. Or I could show you guys how to port it over yourself, which is really, really simple. There's very little difference between them, actually. Alright, so anyways, as you can tell here, number 1 is pig, so we're going to go ahead and test that out. So we're going to summon a pig, and first of all, we're going to go over everything that it does, and then after I've gone over everything that it does, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the actual command blocks itself. So you'll notice when I come close to this pig, all of a sudden it's teleported to me, and it's flying with me, yay! It's honestly, this is mostly just meant for trolling, but also, one little fun thing is that it'll take a ridiculous amount of fall damage because its fall damage never resets. So, my favorite one, of course, is player, but I don't have anybody else on with me right now. And I think but my favorite mob is chicken. So if I just summon a bunch of chickens, like so, and oh goodness, I forgot about this. So of course, since I am, since this is a 1.8 mod and I am now in 1.10, the mobs can push me around a little bit, as you can tell, so they no longer spread out like they used to. So obviously it doesn't work the same, but it's still a lot of fun. Let me actually kill them, because otherwise I'll be able to do nothing. By the way, guys, I hope the audio is a lot better in this episode. I'm trying something new out, where I have basically the microphone a lot closer to me, and I messed around with the audio settings a little bit before we actually went. So hopefully we should have less lag. But let me know down in the comment section if it did work out well. Okay, so we're going to go over every single feature, and the first one we are going to go over, and this actually doesn't require dissecting it quite yet, is the paste bin function. So this one right here is a link that you could click, and once you click the link, and I'm not going to click it because then it'll stop my recording, it'll bring you to a paste bin, which essentially just has this text in it. And this is actually pretty interesting how it works. So the way it works is it'll use telraw, and we've all learned how telraw works, and it'll say the text will be click for info, but then it has a click event on it. This is something we haven't really gone over when explaining telraw, so this is something you'll mostly see in my command block contraptions rather than my tutorials, because these are a bit more complicated. Essentially, if you want to copy this text and play around with it, you can. Anyways, you can see when you click on it, it'll open the URL, and it'll be this URL. Which is pretty interesting, and then right here again, it's the same exact command block, so yeah. So now that we've covered the first two, we are going to move on to the next two. So right here, this one is just simply an effect command, and we have covered effect a fair few times, and remember, of course, it just, yeah. So, of course, effect to the nearest player, invisibility, that much time, amplifier 255, and true. So that is pretty simple, and then over here, we are just going to be clearing your effect. Alright, so now we have basically gone over all of these. And I'm also going to remove these signs because these signs are no longer necessary. And don't worry guys, the world I will be giving is actually backup of this world, so it'll have, you know, it'll be the original world from when I started this episode. It won't be this destroyed world. Because obviously you're not going to want to try and play around with a Wavejump contraption that looks like this. Although this does look kind of cool. Alright, so next we have this little circle right here, and as you could tell, this is what allows me to select what my score is. So these are, again, one of the more simpler parts of it. So scoreboard player set. So of course we're setting the nearest player's scoreboard score of mind control to 1 through 8. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get it. I'm sure, because as long as you watch my other contraptions, you should be able to understand almost everything that is going on here. And of course there is something you won't be able to understand. I will do that for you. Reset will just set your score to 0. So I can remove both these and those two. So yeah, and here's 1 through 8, just like that. So now we get to a bit of the more complicated stuff, which has to do with all of these in the middle. Some of these did not even need to be repeating, but the reason that was partially that this didn't work when I originally ported into 1.10, well, A, it wouldn't spawn at all because summon changed from 1.8 to 1.9 to 1.10. But then B, the issue, pardon me, the issue was that the clock wouldn't turn on, which was always an issue in 1.8, which no longer is a problem in 1.9, 1.10 with repeating command blocks. Alright, so anyways, here we're going to go over one of the most basic ones, and I did kind of go over this when I originally created the contraption, but of course we are, you know, we're not in the original video, so it's okay if I go over this again. So let's find number 1 here. So number 1, if you remember, was a pig, so let's find the one that says min is 1. Here we go. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and, oops, let's not have say in all caps because that won't work. So we're going to just go ahead and print this command out in chat so that's actually easier for you to see if it'll work. Oh shoot, you know what though? 1 minute. We're gonna go ahead and on camera we're doing some improvisation. Text. Alright, and alright, I think we should be good now. Alright. So now you notice the command we had was execute at p score underscore mind control equals 1, score underscore mind control min equals 1. So this first part here, score mind control equals 1 means that mind control has to be equal to 1 for that player, or at least it has to be at a max of 1, because score equals is always a really weird thing, and score min equals means that it has to be a minimum of 1. So minimum of 1 and the maximum of 1 means it has to be exactly 1, of course. Alright, next we're saying at that location we are teleporting every pig in a radius of 5 to the player that's nearest with a score of mind control of 1 and the minimum score of mind control of 1. So essentially it's really simple, but yeah, you could see also why I made an episode about selectors, because obviously if you didn't know selectors you could not make something like this. So that episode I'm sure will be pretty helpful to you guys. So, and then basically I have just similar things for each one. For example, 7 is sheep, so instead of pig I use sheep and I changed it to 7. And in order to convert it to something that doesn't obey radius, just look through every single command block and remove the tag that says r equals, and that'll turn off radius mode. Alright, so let's see. I'm just gonna delete all the ones that we've already gone through, which will just take a quick minute here. I think we're almost done. Alright, so now we have our last ones, and these were just something I needed to have when the command block originally ran, and because I was doing it myself, I didn't really have a really good way to do it, so we're just gonna go through how I did this here right now. Okay, so first off, game rule command block put false. You all know what that means. So game rule, if I set it to true, you would see it would spam things in chat, which we don't want. So that of course you want when it spawns in originally. Score mind control equals 2. Alright, we already gone over that one. This adds the mind control objective, which we use on the right, so that is crucial, and this just simply turns off lock item commands, which would kill a server's console if you had it on, from what I remember. So yeah, we have just covered the entire mind control contraption in about 10 minutes, guys. So if you want to learn exactly how to recreate this, if you want to just leave a request for like a simple command contraption that we could have time to create on video, then just leave it in the comment section down below. I mean, I would rather you not, because it's definitely takes quite a lot of brain power to create a command block contraption. But nevertheless, it is a fun thing to do. But yeah, guys, once again, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Currently, as I am recording this video, we have 66 subs, which is just mind-blowing to me, because a couple weeks ago I had like 50. So it's either a week or 2 ago. I can't remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Anyways, yeah, definitely we're gaining subs really fast, and we are growing a lot as a channel. So thank you just so much for all of the support lately. It's been crazy. And I think we've pretty much covered everything we want to this episode. I will also go over right now what we are covering next episode, and oops, that's the world we were just in. So what we are going to be covering next episode is entity data. So we're going to be covering entity data and also going over falling sand. So what this means is that, for example, you're going to be able to learn, and this is the first thing actually we learned in the 1.9 thing. You're going to be learning, for example, how to summon a falling sand to create a door that you could walk through, even though it looks solid. So, you know, fake blocks, so you'd actually be able to walk through this. I'll show you how to create that. And I'll show you all sorts of other really fun stuff that we could just go ahead and play around with. So if you guys want to see that soon, I'm going to have more trouble releasing command block tutorials pretty soon, and I've been away from the computer for a week, so if it seems like I've been busy for a lot and that I haven't really been covering things lately a lot, that would be why. I keep saying So guys, I'm just gonna end off this episode here, because otherwise I'm just gonna keep dragging it on forever. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Bye.